Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Happy Thursday. Morning, Xenocron. I bumped up the frame rate and the bit rate, so we'll see how it goes. I'm targeting 2,000 kilobits per second. And 30 frames a second. So, it's a big day. Here we go. Here, we'll see. Actually, I should start this up on my other machine too. Oh, it's not too bad. Yeah, that'll work. Yes, 30. We didn't go from 10 to 13. Went from 10 to 30. All right. We're gonna work on our button. Button. I want a button. Where did I leave Firefox? Oh, there it is. There's Firefox. All right, let's close tabs to the right. Let's see. I haven't looked to see if any of the crates have gotten picked up yet. I don't know which one I expect to be used the most. Probably the TTF word wrap is the most useful. That, or if somebody's really looking for this one, the Raymer Douglas Puker. That was a good one too. But this I saw on the Reddit page yesterday. No, not this one. It's a different one. I do not remember which one it was though. All right, let's work on a button. All right, so there's a button. I'm gonna go into the scene. I want to be able to set, let's say, a max, just a width on the button. So what do we expect on a button? We want width, height. Let's work on that. Oh, I don't have a button. Rust, source, controls, button. Not that one. That one. We're going to inherit from what? Spatial? Probably spatial, something 3D. I don't really have data to go along with that. Obstruct. Button. Let's get the boilerplate out of the way. Methods like that. There we go. Simple button. We need a new function with the owner. I should return a self, not a select. All right. Lib, we need to add this. Controls mod button. All right, close that up. There we go. Should be wired up now. Oh, controls button. Yes, we have controls. Button is there. Oh, you know, it's just Rust Analyzer and it's not. Okay, as soon as I save this file, that will recognize it. Oh, still no. Why not? Huh. I guess it is an issue. Controls mod, right there. Mod button. W is button. Source, controls, button, and it's public. Come on. Not found in controls. It's pretty straightforward. Controls, mod, button. Notice it's not complaining here. This seems fine here. Wrong file. Controls button. Hub struct button. It's strange. I'm not seeing it. Anybody else see it? B-U-T-T-O-N. I spelled that right, didn't I? B-U-T-T-O-N. Yes. This is going to be one of those days where it'll hit me. I'll be like, oh, that's right. but I haven't gotten it yet. It seems fine. Controls, button.rs. See, the bit that gets me is this. So if we say buttons, this should error. Yes, and it does. Say buttons here, that should error. And it does. So it's finding those. Unless I forgot to save this file, but I don't think I did earlier. That could do it. But no, that's not it. Huh. I've been coding for a long time, and this happens occasionally. Not found in controls. Consider importing one of these items. Create util button. I have a util button? Where? It's not pub use. We're not exporting some other button from there. But yeah, it could be the drive macro. This is suspect. GD native does have a button. Mod controls. Controls button. That's... Can't be serious. Oh, it's a private module. Ah, there we go. Oh, but we want it to be private. Because we're just okay, so let's make it pub. Go back to the other one. So here, we have the module, submodule, button, expected a comma, is it? That's an odd error. Let's see what it says here. It takes its sweet time. Okay, so there's something going on with, maybe it's the namespace? Because this actually compiles. We make the module public, and we don't use this. That works. Even though COC is freaking out in, which file was it? Lib. Oh, well, maybe it's okay now. But I don't want to do that way. That's silly. Rather it be this way. So let's go back to lib. No, controls button. Go into controls. Take that out. Now it should break. We have not wired it through. We do not pub use button. This should break. I didn't think I was going to be spending this morning doing this. Why doesn't the module system work? Now it should tell me that there is no button in controls. And it will be correct. Yes, button is not found. You are correct, Rust. Go into controls. I just want to see if button actually works in this scope too. Let's make it public. Macro error. Cannot resolve macro self hub function. It cannot find button in the scope. Let's give it a moment. Yeah, if I don't use the asterisk, it works. Wow. Okay, so it must be that we're pulling in button from API. Good morning, Brooke Zerker. How was your stream? Welcome, everyone. We are currently fighting with Rust, and Rust is winning.
We're gonna turn this upside down. We're gonna rock this.
See, API has button.
We're gonna shake this to
Basically, what's happening is we are defining a struct called button. We also happen to be importing one. And we're listening to funk. If we go into lib, oh, you got the flocking simulator to an MVP point. Oh, awesome. That's cool. That's very cool. So we have controls. Controls is a module that has other modules. And if we, oh, wrong one. We change this to be a star like the others. For whatever reason, button is no longer visible. Can't find type button in the scope. If we do a check, it's going to give us a hint, maybe? Rust always wins. Sometimes it just convinces you you were on the same side the whole time. I could see that. See that. Consider importing one of these items. We did. We use button star. It must be due to the fact that it cannot determine which one to export. Because if we come back into button, this is a good learning one this morning. If we take that out, I'm guessing it's going to exist because there is a button right there, like so. And if we use button and we define button, I would have expected it to use the, I guess, I don't know why, but maybe it's the JavaScript mind, or C, or something else. But here, this is basically what was happening, in that we had been pulling in the button, but we didn't get this because of the asterisk. Hey, Josh, thank you for the raid, and welcome everybody. We are currently working on Rust. We're actually using Godot and Rust. What were you doing today, Josh? If you have time. So I'm guessing it's that extra import was causing all of the issues. See, Godot prototyping and learning C. Oh, that's cool. Sorry, I'm peeking at your channel. C is like my favorite language. Well, that was like my first love. I have to admit, C was like my first love. All right, take care, Brooke. Thanks for stopping in, and thank you for the raid again. I'm glad you got your flocking simulator working. Audio management application in C plus GTK4 plus Solus. I have not heard of Solus. That's cool though. And C is my first love. I spent, goodness, 5 to 6 years in just straight C early in my career. Loved it. Love C. But I have to admit, I love Rust more now. I mean, the learning cliffs in Rust I think are steeper than C. C has more of a learning curve with a bunch of foot guns. Rust has fewer foot guns. You better be a better climber. The editor tools, I think, are coming along though. All right, let's give this, let's see. It's still gonna find button. This is insane. Okay, start over. Let's go to the beginning. Lib, we are trying to register our button control. We just created this 15 minutes ago. Let's see, Godot. Seems the next Godot version supports GD native for HTML5. Really? That's awesome. How shall you compile the source for WASM? That is a great question, and I have no idea how you would do that. Wow. Yeah, we'll have to see how that comes along. So here we have control. It's our module. Trying to use it. Button still hates everything. Then if we go into that button module, we define a button. Let's simplify it. I mean, is button in Prelude? It can't be in Prelude. Oh, it is. Alright. Get rid of Prelude. Now that should fail, yes, good. Oh, I do not want to implement that. Now where is that normally? I know it's here. Yeah, now we need spatial. Let's see. How about now? Not expanded, that's fine. Not used. Unresolved import. Let's say we have spatial there. Fine, where is spatial? API spatial. I think Rust Analyzer is wrong. Yes. So the problem was because GD native has a button. We were globbing the import. All right, back to what we were doing. Let's see, can we clean this up a little bit? Can we get rid of the GD native here? Alright. How about now? Perfect. We'll just be a little bit more explicit in order to avoid button. Goodness. The things you learn in Rust. I'm gonna just double check my schedule for today. I'm gonna make sure no one. We'll get some time. Alright, now going back to Godot. Here's Godot. Now, for all the new viewers out there, front view, this might seem like some simple Godot thing, right? However, if we zoom in on this some text, and then we turn it into wireframe mode, you can see that that text is actually tessellated. And if we rotate it, you can see that it's got no depth to it. It's in space. We have rendered fonts in space. Of course, no backface, which is fine. So that's pretty cool. We did that previously. Now for our button, zoom out. Whoa, it's way too close. Zoom out a bit. We're going to define a width on the button, and then we will wrap the text at a specific spot and automatically size the button according to the width and how many lines of text we need. So we need to know on this what the width is. And this sizes. So we're going to fix that. It's not going to be a U8. I'm going to use some of these other macros. Property name. It's going to give it a fairly good default. The default is going to be, say 3. Some default button. Now, after that gets set, we have to go through and re-render things. No, Wardley, I absolutely agree that that was a bizarre error. Here, let's. What is it? Pane resize. Resize pane. There we go. Dash X. Let's say 30. Yeah, I think it should have at least told us that there was an error there. That it's not exporting, it's not choosing, because there are 2. And it wasn't telling us that. It did correctly give us hints, saying, hey, maybe you should use this specific thing. Yeah, exactly. That it should have been declared already there. Just gonna see. This is what I need. After set is what it's called, and then you can give it a function. The order is not important. But why go with mesh for buttons? Because I do not want these quote unquote on the glass. I don't want to render them in 2D space. I want everything in 3D space so I can get some more interesting effects. A little bit more freedom with the shaders. And mesh fonts, just use them everywhere. Exactly. Now in this case, we're going to say update. We need some sort of update function. Well, the function update. That needs an export. Alright. Now in this case, what do we want the type of that to be? Actually, do I care? It does not need to be signed, but do any of the libraries have any restrictions for this? Yeah, absolutely might hit the vertex budget faster. This game is purposefully simple. Also, that's right. Any Android phone could do this. If we go into front view, so here, let's go to our label. So that should just keep going. If we have width in meters, let's say that's 1 meter or 2, maybe. How wide is this? 5? Not 25, but maybe just 5. We want to be able to set the width in meters on this, so it's going to be the same type as that. So, well, if it helps the GPU, we are using instanced meshes. So if we come into Godot, there is a mesh instance, right? But there's also multi-mesh instance. And we set up multi-meshes for each glyph. So even if we did have, I don't know, the works of Shakespeare on the screen, hopefully it would still render because we're using multi-mesh. Yeah, this is useful to optimize the rendering of a high amount of instances of a given mesh. For example, trees in a forest or grass strands. So I'm using the same thing for text. So we'd end up with n number of these, where n is the individual glyph. And if we come back to 3D, you can see that the vertices count down here is actually really high. And I have been keeping my eye on that. I'm just uncertain. I just don't know if that's going to be an issue. Like if we, I mean, let's see what it can do. Let's say, okay, width in meters, let's say 50. We're just going to, I mean, Godot might have issues with this before. Yeah, and if my computer crashes, we'll do something. I'll restart it. Alright, so we have 3,000 draw calls. Oops. Uh-oh, there we go. Pinwheel of death. I may have copy and pasted the whole text a couple of times. Alright, well, I think that Godot's probably gonna wake up tomorrow with a headache. Now let's go back into text. So we probably need this to be the same size, the width. We're using an F32 here. That makes sense, because it could be a fraction of a meter. If this was Windows, it would be blue screen of death anytime now. And I'm still looking forward to my my BSD upgrade. It's not happening yet. Okay, let's see if we can bring Godot back. Whoa! Ah, it did it! We got 6,000 draw calls. How many verts is that? 400 million? Okay, so maybe not the whole works of Shakespeare. But that is a lot of text. Alright, now my cursor is just dragging now. Let's delete that. Okay, test. Godot survived. Alright, but we're going to be working on button. So we have a width. Default width for our button. I know, right? Right, Josh? That was impressive. Yeah, there's our default, and update should be called. We're not doing anything with this yet. Unresolved import. Lies. It's using it. I thought so too. And I'm not certain if I'm using it incorrectly. So that's actually been at the back of my mind for a long time, having seen those values increase like that. Let's take a peek. Because maybe I need to press turbo or something. Optimizing using multi-mesh. So we do set the multi-mesh, otherwise the glyphs don't show up. There's not much going on here, so let's take a peek. For large amounts of instances, in the thousands. Using service directly is the recommended optimization. Yeah, we're not doing that. Large amounts of objects reach into the hundreds of thousands or millions. None of the approaches are efficient anymore. Alright. Only drawback is there are no screen or frustum calling. It is possible to provide a custom visibility rectangle for them. Oh, okay, I didn't know about that, but it will always be all or none visibility. That's fine, because this visibility rectangle could be useful for scrolling text. For an example of animating thousands of objects in a multi-mesh, see the Animating Thousands of Fish tutorial. Alright. Another alternative is to use GDNative in C++. It should be extremely efficient. It's possible to set an entire state for all objects using linear memory via the Visual Server multi-mesh set as bulk array function. Okay, that could be useful. The array can be created with multiple threads and then set in one call. Well, that seems like the next state. We're gonna skip this optimization for now. Alright, here's the example. Multi-mesh, we create one. Set the format first, transform, the color format, the custom data format. Then resize, instance count, visible instance count. Set the transform of the instances. This is like exactly what I'm doing. Let's look at these. Set as bulk array bit. I'm going to bump up the font size, make it a little easier to read there. So it's all data related to the instances in one go. Yeah, this isn't it. This is for the custom data. We do not have custom data being set. We are instancing a new multi-mesh instance for every glyph, yes. Do you think that's the issue? Let's go ahead and save that. Let's go to... Ooh, where was that? That's in glyph. So custom data none. Set the mesh. It's actually one multi-mesh instance per glyph because the instance points to an object. Let's see. Let me see if I can find where I use that. Okay, here's new. So in this case, where we do not have enough instances, we add some. However, I think the only thing that's truly useful in here is probably this here. Every multi-mesh instance is one draw call? Oh, interesting. So then how do they do the rendering buckets of fish? So let's go to their example. Do they just avoid that? How do they set the parent of the element? This would be a great optimization. If this works, next project is one of those matrix-like screens using shaders and this text. Oh, interesting. Optimization for much later. One multi-mesh instance for all glyphs. Use custom data to set the start and the end. Wow. That is interesting. That would probably work. All right. Yeah, here, I mean, here they're just talking about how they got the fish to look like a fish. Yeah, with blah, blah, blah. Making a school of fish, here we go. See, I think they actually do this in the UI, where they create a multi-mesh instance in the UI for these things. But not a multi-mesh instance, I misspoke there, a multi-mesh. So if we come back into Godot and you can create a multi-mesh instance. Okay. We can populate the surface up there. So all of this stuff here can be set up. And I believe what this is doing, okay, let's just create a new multi-mesh. Yeah, so it's the same data as before, but it's just one multi-mesh instance. Oh, interesting. Maybe I do only need one of these. I was under the impression I needed multiple. That's exactly what this is doing. It's trying to manage the number of mesh instances. So let's go look at what self is here. Self. We have a hash map to glyphs of chars to glyphs. Hash map of chars to a vector of multi-mesh instances. Because I think what we're looking at here is changing this and deleting the vector out of it. Because, okay, so passing the coordinates of each letter, we can actually do that individually. You can set the transform of the glyph. That's on multi-mesh. So if we look back one, but yeah, this typed array data, that's a custom data. Multi-mesh has set instance data format color transform. So it has this that you have to call in. You have to give it the instance ID. Okay, let's try this. Okay, what's broken so far? Oh, sure. Get rid of that. Because I want to do a get stash real quick, or get stage. Just in case things go poorly, we want to be able to undo and come back to this point. Oh yes, and let's put that vector back. There we go. Get status, get cargo. That's a new one. Cargo. Oh no, it's a get add dot. Sure. Get status. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay. Now that we've got that safety net, let's make changes with rod strokes here. All right. So now we're going to have a mesh instance per char. Which means that this changes a little bit. We do need to know how many chars we expect, or how many instances we expect, and that's what this represents. All right, now mesh instances needs to be updated. That's fine. Reset. Yeah, in this case, we're draining the mesh instances. We no longer have a for each here, because it's just each individual item, which means we can just get rid of that line and that line. Okay, combinator, thank you. Oh, no, anti-666, this has been on the back of my mind for a long time, and I am glad we are doing this, because I would love to be able to render a lot more text. Okay. Or default. Yeah, the or default doesn't work because this is creating an empty array. That's what that used to do. No. What happens up down here? Creates and destroys multi-mesh instance is based on that. It's a phone, right? All right, let me send a text real quick. Okay. So what is the purpose of this here? We were trying to add more more instances, and remove extra ones. All right, so I mean, it could be an option instead of an array. But no, I think we just need to remove it. Just a moment, I'm gonna find my water. Alright, so creates and destroys multi-mesh instances based on the character counts. what is glyphs again? This is a hash map of chart a glyph. It's fine. So if we do have a glyph, what if we don't have a glyph? So glyph mesh instance. We're no longer doing this the same way because now we just have a ref to that instance. No longer an array, or a vector, pardon me, a vector. So now we either create it or remove it. So let's see which boat it should be in. Let's take these, put these up here. We no longer have, oops, I moved the wrong one. I want this one to go away, because we don't care about the length anymore. This is just either greater than or less than 0. So if with instance count is greater than 0, alright, then we either create it or delete it. Which is self dot mesh instances. Well, it's this. It's kind of like this hand wavy, like this. Okay, so now let's go through and clean this up. So if the glyph instance count is greater than 0, then we want to ensure that one exists. So we can also get the entry. What was it? Glyph mesh instances? Was it this one? No, just mesh instances. Where is CH defined? It's not. Oh, it's glyph. CH. I think I keep it on there. Yeah, it's public char. Okay. So now we have the entry, and we can basically delete the entry or insert things, depending on what we need. So we do this one of two ways. We either look to see if the entry is occupied or not, and if it's occupied, and there should not be anything there, we could remove it, or we could operate on the counts themselves. We already have it set up for the counts, so let's just continue in this pattern. You know what? I'm going to do it the other way so we can match on the glyph entry. So if it's occupied, so in this case it would be an occupied entry. Let's just call it entry. So if it's occupied, and it should not be occupied, so if it's equal to 0, then we want to destroy everything in there, which should be this. Now we need to get that mesh instance off of the entry though. We call remove on that? I think we can. Alright, now in the opposite case, we have to create one. Create a new mesh instance, set the multi-mesh. Put it into shared. Now here is where we add it to the entry. Is it insert? Yes. Oh, but we only want to do this if the glyph count is greater. Well, you know what? We could move this. We could try to do like a guard here. Only do this if that's true. But then there's a set of options that we'd never process. We'd have to put that down there. Alright, that should work. I like using guards, it reminds me a lot of Erlang. Let's add some comments on there though. Alright, this is removing it. Alright. What else? Unresolved imports. Really? Give us a cargo check. Alright. Neovim, you are drunk on power. Okay, COC updated. What does it do with that thing? Alright, now, is that all of the instances that we care about? The mesh instance? I do not think this was exposed anywhere. It looks like it. Alright. It's not public, so let's give it a build. And let's try to break Godot again. Alright. Save, close, exit the editor. Yes, please. And start the editor again. Wow, the text rendered. Let's open up button. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this. Delete that node. Label. Here, let's give us a sonnet, DuckDuckGo. Alright, now I'm just going to copy and paste this in there a couple times. Oh, the draw calls staying at 91. I think we have an improvement. Okay, so that's 1 million. I'm just going to copy paste the whole thing again. Let's go to 20. Here, 40. $89 draw calls. Wow. With only 4 million vertices so far. $8 million. Whoa. One view. Well, Anti, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it, man. 17 million verts, 91 draw calls. That works. Draw wireframe mode. All of our little wireframes. Oh, this is great. This is great. All right. So what did we learn here? Um, Morning, the Vunter. And welcome, Raiders. Well, thank you. Thank you, Y. Haynes. We are playing around with font calls and drawing. We're just optimizing some stuff here. Let's go 160. Oh, there we go. Now we're starting to get a little pinwheel every now and then. Okay. I'm gonna make Godot cry. Alright, so this should be 35 million verts. Alright, let's go 70. 85 draw calls. This is good. I like this. There it is, 70 million. And that has worked. Alright, Shakespeare's first sonnet and 70 million vertices. Brought to you by Godot. Let's just take that first one in there. Toss that in again. Okay. Godot's didn't crash through all of that. I'm very impressed. Game dev, something that you never learned but always wanted. Yeah, I've only ever done game dev professionally once, and it was a fantastic project. I really enjoyed it. But that team is gone now. That tech is now dead. It was Flash front end on a kind of a casual MMO, and we actually had a bunch of Adobe guys come in one day because we had questions because we were doing things that were hard to do in Flash, right? Nobody ever complained about Flash that you can tell was Flash. Good Flash. And we brought in some Adobe tech guys because, you know, the boss's boss knows people or whatever, right? And so a bunch of engineers come in and we start showing them the game and everything, and they start asking us how we were doing things. We never got our questions answered because we were using it beyond what they thought it could do. So, all in all, it was a good day. They were nice people. Morning, Sarcastic Dante. Alright, well, that is a fantastic change. Thank you all for encouraging that line. What we got here? Now we no longer have this vector, so very few draw calls now. I can see using this in more games now. I mean, the number of vertices, sure, jumps up, but now, goodness, draw calls, so easy. Well, thank you for the raid, and welcome, the Bunter. Enjoy your lunch. All right. So let's pop back over here. We were working on button, not that one. Rust button. That one. Am I also using delta for diffs? I'm not. Whenever the text is changed, it redraws everything. It's one of those optimized later things I was going to get around to, but if we come back in here, certain things will just cause it to completely get redone. The font size. So if we say the font size is 10, right? Line height should also be 10. It should probably be like 300. And we have to do that because there's more vertices going to be viewed in, I don't know, well it didn't, oh that's right, I didn't change that. So for very large text, I would like it to have more vertices. Because here, if you were looking at like a billboard or something, in game you would see oh, am I also using delta for diffs? And I'm just using the normal Git stuff, like it's just standard, text diffs. Oh, you're talking about the, how it's displaying it. Is that Delta? I think it was something in Rust. It looks like I have Delta. Yeah, using Delta. I'm sorry, Xenocron, I didn't know you were talking about the diff tool. In fact, I probably am behind on Delta. Cargo. Has it been updated lately? The diff pager? Oh, Git Delta? "20 days ago. Interesting. I wonder what the improvements are that they make on this. Oh, I see. You recently made the change from diff so fancy to delta, and it looked a lot like it. Yeah. My version is ancient. I mean, I've even forgot what it was. It's been so long. Alright. Back to this. So we have a button, and we have a width on the button. Let's say that we also have some text. You know what? Copy paste that. No default on this. There'll be an option to a string. What else do we need? At this point, when we call update, we'll be passing down these properties and adjusting the height. Let's make a note. Function, there we go. I wonder if there's a way for us to, let's see, because Where do we have text? Here. Because if text is a child option, we're going to set a number of these elements and just pass them through. I'm going to focus on probably the width and then just getting the size out of it. So I want some function here that tells us what the height is. So after this is said and done, let's say we're in F32. We need to know how many lines there were. Comes through this. What is layout? It's a multi-line layout. Maybe we can get the height off of this. So after layout is called, should probably be an option to an F32 because there is a situation where it might not be set. Well, one right there. Then it will only ever be set after layout has happened. This iterates through the positions and we get the line here. We need to know what the maximum line number is. Guess we just replace that. These should always increment. I don't know if that's guaranteed. It should always increment. Oh, that needs to be mutable. And then at the very bottom, self dot. Times line height. There, now we have a height on this. Straight bounds. Did it just clone? I think it's just clone. Alright. Or copy. Does copy exist? Okay. Alright, so now we have that. We can get the height off of layout. Ah, but now this optional one you know what? Let's change this. We're just going to or default this. I like the idea of expressing that this hasn't been set in inside, but I do not think that we have to bubble that out of the API. F32, that's a U32. Oh. All right, now we should have a height. We go back to button. Let's look. What do we have in button? We have some sort of canvas. Now let's change this. 0.4. So on button, we want to be able to expose those. We're going to have the label for the button and a canvas. I mean, I'm tempted to have like an image or some other art for that, but we'll avoid it for now. Now it feels like I want some sort of box model. Like, oh, you know what? Now we're gonna have margin and padding and. I'm so happy that the draw calls are so tiny. That is the best. So happy about that. Thank you. All right. So now we need to get the child components and set the text and the width on them. And after they've been updated, interesting. Do we? I don't know if we have functions for text here. Okay, let's just say. I thought that we didn't use extension here. Wow, that's old. Because we are using this. Alright, let's delete the one. Yeah, we have get type node and get type node instance. We were working on that just the other day. Actually, that should have been off of owner. Oh yes, yes, you're unsafe. That's fine. Do we want some sort of setter for this? Oh, we do have one. Okay, we can set the text there. That doesn't take an option, does it? Oh, I did that wrong. Why does this return a result? Because of the cast? Okay, that makes sense. Expect Godot. Or message. Now we give it a message. So it's saying that this is a ref instance. There should actually be more errors there. What can we do with a ref instance? Oh, can we map it? And claim it, we can map. Let's change this to label ref. So what's it take here? The type and then the base type. Ah, and its owner. Owner should be undefined here. Well, unused. Morning, cat peasant. Cat peasant, we are streaming in 2 megabit per second land today. 30 frames per second. That's for everybody's ease in watching me use Godot. I know it's been like a year and a half. Year and a half at 10 frames a second, 1.2 megabit per second. All right, it doesn't know the type at this point. Interesting. What is the type? Text? Want some hot tea? Cannot find text. Sure, import super text. I don't believe you. Why didn't it import text? This controls text. Super text. This text is super. All right. Oh yes, and that actually wants the. Huh. I don't have the owner for that label. Oh, I do. It's passed in. My mistake. So we're on Starlink now, and there's a decent snowstorm going on. I wonder how it's doing. I don't know if snow is going to affect Starlink. I don't know how water affects the Ka band. Let's see, is it dead? Is it dead? It looks like it's okay now, but we lost some frames there. All right, hopefully it's back. It's behaving better. Oh, that's right. We only want to do this if we do have some text. if let some text there. Give it a check. Oh, yes, we got rid of extensions. Lib. Forgot where I was going for a moment. There we go. So, once the set text is done, but look at the set text, it calls layout, which means that the size should be ready. Now, oh no, I want Godot. It's Godot. So we want to get our canvas object, and we want to be able to set none of that. Close that, close that. We want to set the height. So based on the width, I guess we also want to set the width too, don't we? Oh, you know what? We probably need the border thickness to be subtracted from these things. Yeah, it was sketchy for a little bit. I see the Twitch graph and it says that it was unhappy for maybe a minute. It's absolutely better than nothing. I am on Starlink. And I have one tree in the way, which I am not willing to cut down. My Starlink cable is buried under snow and ice. So I'm going to have to move it later, move the thing. I did get the mounting kit so I can put it up higher and have it not be affected by the tree. However, that means I either get the axe out and start cutting through some ice, or I wait for the sun to do all the hard work for me. And I would rather code and wait for the sun to do its job. Optimizing the process. So let's set up the, trying to keep the API simple here. We have text, I do not really want to expose like border thickness, stuff like that. That's what I'm wanting. Oy. Wow, that's bright. Okay, we have the panel, then we have a button. Panel, we're gonna hide for a minute. Camera's fine. The button, we should be able to set the text, etc. The text, we kind of want to be able to set the width on this. Like have some sort of widget in here. Teach you Rust. Good morning, Mr. Braun. I wonder if we could simply scale this. What if, let's just play around here. What if We went into scale mode. Because here we could scale this, right? Left to right. And that would adjust the width, but not in a good way. Let's reset that. Kind of want extra widgets for being able to set the width and height and etc. on this. And somebody in the Discord channel was experimenting and playing around with widgets in Godot. And that sounded pretty cool. Mr. Braun. I've been doing this for a while. Yeah, stay and watch, yeah. I guess a good question though is for Mr. Braun. What programming languages are you familiar with? It can be easier to guide somebody into learning a new programming language if you know where they already are. All right, not this. Give us a build, or go build. That's gonna block. This has gotten slow lately. What's my CPU? Yeah, my CPU is rather high. I have no idea why though. Looks like it's Godot and OBS. Did I screw up Godot? Maybe we should restart it. We'll restart it anyways because the build. That's odd. Huh. Alright, fine. Unresolved import. Something has gone on really odd with this. Because that exists. It just does. We need to import that. Absolutely. Ampersand and asterisk. That should be like the Rust game where all you can do, you have two keys. You can press, ampersand or asterisk, and you have to make it through some like maze of code. Ah, yes. Well, here, let's see if we can. Whatever, blank would exist. Let's go replace the blanks. You know what? I might be able to do this. Let's try using multi-vim again. Tab. Where's my formatter? Has he gone on holiday? Mismatched types. Oh, I see. I went with the option on these. What am I doing with those? Later. Yeah, we just set translation, etc. on it. Yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of the option. So that should return a tref result. Okay. Oh, I missed one from earlier. Alright, now all of these are technically wrong because we would have panicked up there if they didn't exist. Just checking the types on these. Okay, so can't get rid of that, and that. That is it. What? Did I not close something? Formatter's not kicking on, which means that someplace there's an error. Let's give it a check. Ooh. All right. I'm not seeing it. Is it up higher? Huh. Strange. Alright, well. There we go. 157. Rust is great about that. Alright, I just had to delete one. Too many errors in there. I wonder why. Why has Rust Analyzer decided to freak out today? Let's just try again. This one. Text. Okay, this is where we were. Or, no, we were in Canvas. Here. This is where we were. This is going to pause for a minute. I'm going to drink some tea. Cannot borrow a label is mutable. Alright. It's in button 35 and 34. That needs to be a map mutable. That's an exclusive reference. But now we're double roughing that. There. Unused result. That's because... Let's see, set text doesn't return anything, but the result of this is returned. Which, it's just returning unit here, but it's... It should still... There's two ways of silencing it. We can just put the Clippy silencer on there, or we can say let underscore equals. Both options, not my favorite. So what would the error variant be? Oh, you know what? They could have a valid error variant because of the mapping. Alright. Let's just expect Godot. Do not set text on button. This is just read-only. It does not need to be mutable. Height does not take owner. It doesn't take anything. Can you lead that? Now we'll set our own height. I don't think we can do this, can we? We can't return... Oh, we can. T reference. Label ref. It should have the lifetime encoded in it. Oh, what do we need to give this reference notes? I've been wondering about this. I keep always just grabbing the instance whenever I want it. And that crosses the API boundary into Godot. It does some lookup stuff, brings it back, gives you a pointer. For stuff like this, we expect it to always exist. And I wonder what the trade-off is between just keeping a reference for as long as this component exists. I guess the risk is that at some point it doesn't exist, right? Something inside this component gets removed somehow and it crashes. But it'd be a hard Godot crash without debugging information. So I think I'm more likely to just always have the lookups. Just for the case where the button label is missing. But if we can guarantee that it's always there, can we ask the ref instance if it's sane? Base, claim. Same thread access, non-unique. Technically, we don't need to have the instance here. We could just get the ref. And off of a ref, I think we can ask it if it's sane. Alright. Let's try it the other way. Let's grab this stuff at the beginning. Let's say label would be a rep of a what? Something like that. At this point, it's a T-ref, and we need to go from T-ref to ref. We claim that? Yeah.
We're gonna jump into a new chat right now. It's a little paranoid, but we're gonna flip it down. Dim down the lines. Give it to me.
Yeah, that'll work. Alright, now let's...
We gonna get paranoid now, right, Scarlet? Check this out.
I need some tea. Just a moment.
What's in you, what's in me? Take time and second. Watching you, watching me. Watching there, watching we. Can't you see that? Watching you, watching me. Watching there, watching step. Can't you see? Watching you, watching me. Watching there, watching we. Can't you see that? Watching you, watching me. Watching there, watching step.
So if we do that, we don't need this. But it's not the instance. Well, we could try... Hold on, what does ref instance give us? I'll go back. Not really. Let's fast forward this one. Too much is going on. There we go. So if we claim this one, we get an instance back. I see. And it has a reference to its base? It does. So we could keep the instance. Wait, does that have like a lifetime or anything? If the base object is reference counted, and it's not reference counted, otherwise use assume save to obtain a temporary ref instance. I see. So we just call assume save. It's not guaranteed to be a no upper runtime. I don't know if that helps us because we're still having to do these checks. I don't know how much of a check this is. The problem with the ref instance. Oh, I see. And this is if it was unique, but we wouldn't be able to use unique because it's not unique. Yeah, and this one is a lifetime. I think I like this way better. Just have an accessor. That'll give us the ref instance and we can do stuff with it. Alright, let's do the same thing for the canvas. Canvas. There we go. Alright, let's just verify that those are named correctly. Oh, we have panel. My mistake, we should be in button. Yeah, so it's canvas. Yeah, so what is our type here? This is a ref instance to a text. And this is to a canvas. What? Two arguments. What is the second argument? Thread access. I don't know. It's actually the lifetime. Now TREF also has a lifetime. It's going to be the same one here. Oh. Two type arguments. Oh, I missed that. Okay. Why? Native class and then access. It's odd that I have to specify that. I would expect that this ref instance it, here they're saying shared. Well, I. Why couldn't it access shared before? Oh, maybe I just didn't import it. All right. Yeah, there we go. Let's see, without the lifetime, can it figure it out? Sure, you're never used, but it looks like it can figure it out. Go ahead and delete that. I don't know if it's correct though, because it might be getting the lifetime off of this. Hmm. We have the height. We'll do a self.canvas, mutably, and on canvas we are going to set its height. Let's create a set height function. As it needs to call property set redraw afterwards. What was it? Property set redraw. Fix owner. What? Why is it like that? All right, we'll fix that. Do I need this to not be part of self? Yeah, this can absolutely be part of the object. Means that each one of these is incorrect. Nothing. Yeah, that last one, I think we've heard it the past couple days. Yeah, the hook could be. All right. So update might not be getting called. Seems like it should. Unless... Oh, we do have the width and the text. Both of these show up. That's what we expect there. Odd. Godot debug. Let's debug self.text and self.width. Alright, so that built. I was trying to think through why it would fail. Godot does have some very quiet errors occasionally. Here's button. Go to the output. To the test. Set text. Ah, you see? Our function didn't get called. We should see this. Self-update should be getting called. Unless it's this button thing again. Maybe button is just not what it should be. So here, these work. We're using after set. Where's layout? Here's layout. It's exported. Owner tref. Yeah, the height should change depending on the width and the number of lines of text. So here, the button, I want to be able to set its width, and then its text. And after after either of those is set, this function will run. We will get the height of the text, which is the inner label. Then we'll take that height and set it on the background of this object. I don't see anything wrong with that. This is the other one. In this case, it takes a mutable self. Could that be the difference? Exclusive borrow of self. Okay, that would surprise me if that's it. It really would. I don't think I've set that on every single one. Okay, now remember, we're looking for the debug output when we change things in here. It's not doing it. This is one of those silent errors in Godot. What else could it be? Pub function. That looks identical. Yeah, we just have after set. Self layout. Yeah, of course, we named ours update, but it's exported. Yes. Check, check. Huh. Yes, exactly, to accommodate the wrapping. But this function is not getting called.
I mean, really, just look at you. What kind of man could resist such a lady? Not me.
Yeah, unreachable, don't care. Do we have to do this down here at this level?
Oh, I see you, baby.
Our button.
You so fine.
That's the debugging from before. Yeah, it's just not doing it. Ah. Maybe it's because it's called button, and everything about this class has been breaking. Just double check. Script, button GDNN. That's fine. Let's click the right button. The owner's fine, tref, spatial. Oh, is update protected? Let's change it to that. Some random text. I wonder if we have some sort of function collision because of update. There's a certain set of virtual functions, and where's that list? I don't think it's in this, but it might be one of those functions. Original Riven, sorry, I'm starting to lose the context here, but the wrapping of the text and the height of the button are related. And that other library, we are using it for this. And for context, you're referring to the TTF word wrap. So there's this one. A little slow, a little sluggish today. All right. So given that is changing, oops, I just killed Godot. I'll bet it's that update function. Come in here. No idea now. Wait, what's this? 3 warnings? Oh. I thought it was gonna be something interesting. Alright, so now we have that. Fast. Enter. Nothing. Nada. We renamed the function. The function signature looks the same. Everything seems okay. Obviously, something's missed. Those values are not. That function is not being called. What could it be here? Could it be these? That'd be silly, but it'd be in line with maybe a macro causing an issue. Oh. Oh, I see it. I see it. I think I see. Well, for a number of reasons. Yeah. And if we do not export it, what happens? No error. Or at least none that I see. Yeah, that is frustrating.
Ups and downs and joys and pains, though some things change, some stay the same. We push and pull so
Methods is there? Export? We're exporting a number of things. All right, well, 40 meters high. Well, actually, oh. I had the wrong app focused. I think I thumbs down to some things on accident. Yeah, that should be all right. It's a little low. Why, oh why? Okay, remove it, add a script, button, spatial native script. So we attach the script. You can see that set text is being called. However, and where did you see 40 meters high? I didn't see. I was looking for 40 meters. Yeah. I'm thinking that it hates button. Let's rename it. Oh, there. Thank you. Well, sadly, in order to be able to inject this, we would have to look at GD native for this, which we could do. But why is it working for the other elements and not this one? I suspect there's something going on with the naming conflict. So in this case, let's rename this to foo button. Controls mod. Okay. Lib. It's already foo button. Good. Alright, there's our foo button. Close Godot. Save and close. We'll open it again. This time we'll attach the foo script to it. Okay. Attach the other one. Now we have foo button, spatial, native script. Oh, output. Script data is true. What does this mean? Let's go ahead and remove it again. Just going to save that. I'm going to close it just to make sure the scene is cleared out. That's odd. Is it because of this scene? I mean, that's not going to change anything. Should be a food button. That's fine. This we can close. Oh, Godot. Alright, let's open up the Godot source. There we go. Morning, Jummit. Alright, let's check this out. This is what I'm using. Oh. Alright. Native script CPP line 92. Update placeholder. Script description. What? There's no script data, so it's just crashing. Alright, let's go ahead and close Godot for a moment. How long does compiling Godot take on my machine? Clean build? Quite a while. Incremental? Not too long. It's been a long time. I don't remember. Okay. So we get some sort of pointer here. An instance. Let's see, what do we have then? Let's go up one level, try again. Button TSCN. What is this? Oh, it's the shader. Seems fine. Yeah, for whatever reason, it's been an odd control. If we come in here, just toss a button on something. Nothing there. Clear that. Just create a new one. 3D scene, spatial, attach, boo button. Is it because of the user data? Maybe. Oh, we got a joke. Got a joke. Why do they use Linux on the ISS? It's a bad idea to open Windows in space. That's a good one. So user data here. That's what I wanted. A little breadcrumb. Is our data send and sync? So what if the problem is with this stuff up here? Normally I would have it like this. We'll do this, then I'm gonna grab some coffee. Do iPads work in space? Because if I walk around outside around here, I get temperature shutdowns. Oh, look at that. What fixed that? Oh, that's not good. Okay, but we're still not getting our function called. Yeah. Magic. So maybe something in the prelude got pulled in, and it's okay now. Ooh, I don't like that magic. They have them attached to the upper thigh with Velcro almost all the time. Wow. That's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. Because I'm pretty sure iPads are not like maybe they are shielded for that sort of thing. I mean, what sort of radiation can those withstand? Actually, I don't even know how high the ISS is. What's the altitude of the ISS? It's not like they're in geostationary orbit. Oh wow. So they are below Starlink. Starlink's what? 550? These are 422. Their apogee. It's not operation critical. Huh. Alright, well, I'm gonna let this set for a bit. I'm gonna browse science and tech for a moment. I gotta run. Ooh, look, we've got ducks. We're gonna raid anti. If my computer will keep up. Thank you. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna get going. It's been good of you to hang out. I like the company. Yeah, 90 minutes for an orbit. That is. When is the Amazon satellite stuff supposed to get going? All right, thanks y'all. You take care. Oh, where's the button? There we go. Ta-ta for now.